need to go out of this and maybe bring the other PowerPoint once the case study is read by the students. Then we can bring that. Just before you start reading, a quick note. This is the case study. Now, not many of you are familiar. Has anybody done a business case study in a classroom setting? Commerce, tourism, you have done? Right? From where? Harvard, Ivy. Kiska case पढ़ा है आपने? But पढ़ा है. That is important. So the purpose is, these are business cases, and this we wrote along with a colleague from Jindal University in Haryana. This was published by Harvard Business Review, publication house, but this is my author copy that I've given you as a handout, and we are going to read it, understand it, and then we'll have a discussion based on some questions. So what is a business case? A business case is about an event that has happened in the past. And from that, we want to learn some lessons so that I can utilize in our present or future. That's the whole. So it's looking back to look forward. That's the whole idea of a business case, okay? So we'll give you how much time, I don't know. Let Stanzin come, read it, and after that, we will give you a set of questions. We'll try to understand the questions first or answer the questions first, and then we'll have a discussion. Does that make sense? And at that time, everybody has to speak. By Friday, I will make everyone speak. I know. Okay, let's get on with the reading part. It's only 4.5 pages. That's not long. Long is like 20 pages. But I know some of us take more time to read. So what we'll do is, from next time, we'll give the case study one night before, so that you can have time to read at home. It's called learning by doing. So now we have done this session, we know the best possible way is to give the case study a priority. Okay? But at least those who have read, or to a certain extent you have read the case study, right? So what's the name of the company here? SOP is not the name of the company. The name of the company is Shoes of Prey. SOP is the acronym. SOP is the acronym. Right? But before we start, I was telling you that the name of the other shoe company, I forgot. It's called the Athlete's Foot. The name of the shoe company. We will measure, use technology. And I have to Google it. Otherwise it will bug me if I don't remember anything. So I Googled CCD's tagline also. CCD's tagline was, a lot can happen over a cup of coffee. And that was their promise. And guess what? Did a lot happen? Yes, it happened. So from girlfriend, boyfriend, we became husband, wife, we had kids and all of that. If that's not success, what is success? For a brand, right? But it's So every service brand has a tagline. What is the purpose of that tagline? To promote one, two. You are selling coffee, right? And you're saying a lot can happen over a cup of coffee. So what type of value are you promoting? One is functional, of course, good coffee. Two is social. At CCD, all the young people goes. I don't know about now, but when we were young people used to come. And I'm sure same demographic goes to CCD now also. I went to CCD last year. Again, guess with whom? With my wife. And a friend of ours. And we enjoyed, when you reflect back. But every tagline is not only for promotion. The tagline also conveys the promise. The tagline conveys something which is critical for marketing, and that is called USP. Make a note of this. Unique selling proposition. That what is my USP? And every service brand, every service company must have an USP. If you don't have a unique selling proposition, you don't have a brand, right? USP. Please remember, you are not for everybody. You are not for everybody means you are not a company for which every customer will buy. You are a brand for somebody. Some will buy you. Like, right? There are people who wear different type of jeans. There are people who wear one particular type of jeans. Right? Say if it has to be a jeans, it has to be Levi's. And that too, 511 or 512. These are the shapes of Levi's. Men's, not women. Men's shape. Right? Cut and all. Likewise, for cafes, there are people who prefer Starbucks. There are people who prefer Costa. Costa is another competitor of Starbucks in United Kingdom and other parts of the world. And there are people who prefer Cafe De Niro, which is also a competitor, depending on their USPs. Not everybody loves Starbucks. I hate it because it's not good coffee to me. But the ambience is good. So people still go for ambience. Right? Come back to shoes of prey. What is the company doing? Finally, our friend is talking. Yes. What is he doing? E-retailer of doing what? Shoes design. Is it a shoe designer or is it a shoe retailer? Which one? Customize the shoe. So it's not a seller. It's not a designer. It's doing something else. What is it doing? It's in the shoe. And guess what? Only women's shoes they used to make. Not men's shoes. And unfortunately, the company has closed down. Almost 5 or 6 years ago. For various reasons. But at the end of the day, it's a company which is in the business of shoes. But what is their USP? So I bring in ideas, not just telling stories, right? We need to join the dots. What is the USP of shoes of play? Yes. Customization. So what are they doing? How are they custom? Can somebody pass the mic, please? Just make it around. Instead of you coming, you can give one people. Yeah, the lady here. Yes, what are they doing? Turn it on, please. Bring it near you. Turn it on.
They are giving customers a choice.
They are giving customers a choice to do what?
To customize their own shoes.
Customize. Can you imagine life where you wear a shoe which is only made for you? It's different, right? Most of the time, when we go to a shop, you want to buy, suppose my size is 10.5. My shoe size is 10.5. There is a size 10.5. Right? 10.5. I go to shop, Depending on the type of a shoe, I see there are many 10.5s lying. I just take one 10.5. It's not made for me. It's made for anybody who has 10.5. Right? That's the beauty of customization. That's the beauty of personalization. So they thought, if I make or if I become a shoe company, competition is too tough. Let me do something which others are not doing. So their USP is, you come online, you choose your heel, you choose your upper cover, you choose your color, you choose your design. What we do, we just manufacture it. Like I have never customized a shoe, but I just found out about a Pakistani company. I know the tensions are very high in the air, but there is a Pakistani company I found out through a friend of mine who is from Pakistan, works with me in the same university, and he loves shoes. So lovers always find lovers, right? So I love shoes, he loves shoes, we found each other. Now he gave me that website and he says they customize shoes for you in Pakistan and they can ship it to Australia. Right? I'm yet to place an order, but yeah, I can give it a go. So what is the difference of buying a shoe in the traditional model and the shoes of prey model? What is the difference? Say it again. Customers could be satisfied, but that is not the difference. Like this shoe I'm wearing is from a company you probably know, Florshim. Florshim is available in India also. Right? I wanted this shoe, I found it, went, placed an order, went there, brought it home. Very boring way of buying a shoe. Right? Because this is shoe not made for me. But what is the difference between this shoe buying that I bought and what probably you buy from Shoes of Prey? You cannot buy, unfortunately. The shop is closed. Right? What is the difference? How is Shoes of Prey creating value compared to Florshim? Anyone? Or Bata. Let me give you an example of Bata. You can relate it easily. What is the difference between Bata selling shoes for you and creating value and Shoes of Prey creating value for you through the same thing, shoes? Come on, think. We did it in the first session. So we always close the loop when we teach. We are closing the loop with this case. What's the difference? Come on. They create together. What did we use that term? Co-creation. So customization using co-creation. So out of the 4 ways of creating value, what Shoes of Prey is using is co-creation. That I will make a shoe for you, but not for you. With you, for you. Think about this lotion. Probably it was made somewhere in China. Right? I don't know. I have not checked the label. Maybe in China, or Vietnam, or India, or Pakistan. These are the 4 places where leather shoes are made in big quantities. Right? Shipped in Australia. I don't know how many days and nights it has spent on the sea. Right? Then I go and buy and wear. Boring way of buying a shoe. Co-creation. Right? That's the way Shoes of Prey created value. Does it make sense? If you start a business tomorrow, think of a way how you can involve customers. Now, everything is not bad about Starbucks, right? It's my poster child when I teach service management. I see the good side as well as the bad side of Starbucks. What is the good side of Starbucks? Starbucks also uses co-creation. So when they ran out of the ideas, they started something called mystarbucksideas.com. You can go on your mobile right now. mystarbucksidea.com. They say, hey customers, come on this platform, give me ideas for new products. Because they don't sell coffee only. Have you been to a Starbucks, anyone? What do they sell with coffee? What do you see? They sell cookies, they sell sandwiches, they sell frappes, they sell all sorts of juices, and they sell all sorts of other crappy things. I mean, other snacks. All right? So they sell all of that. But now they're running out of ideas. So they come to us. Customers go online, they say, hey, how about try this type of a sandwich? Or try this new recipe of making a coffee. And then Starbucks has a team which evaluates these ideas, and then they try to come up with a new product. What is the core of this thing? Co-creation. I'm involving my customer. I'm using my own brain, my own human power, my own technology to create an offering for my clients. Does it make sense? It's a powerful idea. But every coin has a two sides to it. It's always good and bad. So co-creation is not all good. Co-creation also has dark sides to it, right? So what is value co-creation then? If I ask you, all the definition is there. I don't like to go slides. So what is value co-creation? If someone asks you, hey, tomorrow you go and tell someone, we learned at the university, co-creation is a way of doing business. And then that person says, what is co-creation, my dear? What will you say? Your name, by the way. बोलना तो पड़ेगा.
Zahra.
Zahra, okay, go on. So what will you say? What is co-creation? किसी को आप समझाना हो, से एक 10 साल की बच्ची है, उसको आप समझाओगे, what is co-creation? क्या बोलोगे? चलो मिलकर कुछ बनाते हैं. Right? Co-creation is all about मिलकर कुछ बनाते हैं. Right? It's not about making this shoe somewhere in China. Someone made it. It's about, hey, what type of shoe you want? Right? What type of sole you want? What type of inner sole you want? What type of leather cover you want? What color you want? And all those taken together, I make a shoe which is perfect for Sanjit. Life is beautiful when you wear a good pair of shoes. Right? I'm sorry, too many shoes example. But today's heroes are shoes and coffees. Right? But that's co-creation. Co-creation is all about how do you involve customers in creating value. That's co-creation. That's the simple way of remembering co-creation, right? So through this case study, you understand the value of co-creation, that a company actually started its journey based on one type of value out of 4 that we learned, which is co-creation of value. But what are the building blocks? And this is critical in the digital world. Building blocks means, how can you make it a success? Right? How did Shoes of Prey made it a success? Anyone? What is critical in such a platform? Oh, we also used Amazon online platforms, right? What is so critical on an online platform for a customer's perspective? From a customer's perspective, I mean. What is critical? See, if something goes wrong on Amazon's website or with your product, what do? You return. No, you don't return straight away. Come on. You do something in between. You log in. You go to the return section. Lodge the return request. Then they say, print a return slip. Stick it on that. Someone will come and pick it up from you. This is the entire process. Right? You just don't return. Return is a full process. And that's why we said process is critical to service management. Right? That makes sense, right? So what has Amazon done? It has given you a platform where you can converse, have a dialogue. It's not one way. You ask something, the bot answers something. Right? There is a two-way communication happening between you and the client, the company. So what is important? The building blocks of co-creation are 4. Please make a note of this. Number 1 is dialogue. Every platform or every online business must have an avenue where the customer or other stakeholders can engage in a conversation with the company. You cannot hide behind the ivory walls of the company, can you? In today's world, right? Digitalization has demolished the thick walls of companies. Does it make sense? If needed, you can pick up a phone and talk to someone. Try calling a bank. Has anybody recently called a bank, a telecom company, any customer service? Okay, let me give you an example. Most of the banks are trying to move online. Most of the banks are getting rid of people and replacing them with technology. So what happens is, when you call someone, the problem is you will not have a person at the end of the phone. It's an automated voice. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this. And by the time you press 10, half an hour is gone. You are still searching for a human to talk to. Somebody come for my rescue. I'm in a problem. Right? So what companies are doing it? They are removing this and installing chatbots. Have you seen chatbots on a website? Anyone? Who has interacted with a chatbot? यार एक से दो पूछो तो चुप हो जाते हो. You have interacted with the chatbot? Which company? Next Gen. Okay. And how was your experience? Good experience. Why it was good? Because there was a reciprocation. There was a dialogue. There was a conversation. That makes sense? So for co-creation to happen, dialogue is key. You need to speak to your company. Access is the critical element again. Access means access to information, access to the company. Like, most companies sit behind the ivory walls. You can't reach them. But today with digitalization, more and more companies are providing access to their customers to have more and more information. If something goes wrong, you can go. You don't have to go to Google. Like, Google is a thing of the past, right? Where do you go now? Chat GPT, generative AI. You need Gemini. Google is past. Googling is a thing of the past. The future and the present is generative AI or AI. Who wants Googling? Right? So why ChatGPT is becoming so popular? Because of this access. It's easy. Of course, you need more features, you need to pay subscription. But it is still accessible. Likewise, Shoes of Prey made information accessible to the customers. And hence, Shoes of Prey was very successful in the first 4 or 5 years. Later, they made some errors. That's why they had to fold up. Then there is always a risk in the return. Right? DART. The acronym is DART. D-A-R-T. You know DART? You know DART? Has anybody played DART? No? What do you do in your pastime? You don't play, you don't watch movies. What do you do in your gap times? Find a hobby. Right? What is the risk and return? The risk is how much of an information I want to give it to you. Right? So if you want to sign up on a social media web page, they ask you 100 questions, right? And the moment you give up all those information, you don't know who uses your information, who misuses your information. Right or wrong? But the return is what? If I give this information, I get customized solutions. So now you give up your information in order to make a shoe, you're giving up you have to give few things. Your height, your weight, all of this is needed to find a shoe. Right? A good shoe. Who knows? Who is looking at your age and height and weight? And bang, you get a message. You want a supplement? You are underweight. Right? You are overweight. You want a medication to cut down your weight? All of this is possible, right? How many of you have received a spam call? A spam call, right? This is the risk of giving out more information. But can you live in today's world in a digital desert? You understand digital desert? A desert where there is no digital solutions. Like there is no place on the earth where digitalization is not happening. Today's world, you need to befriend technology. Go with technology. You can't become like my father. Right? He hates it. He has never used his ATM card. Can you imagine? He's never. He believes that once he uses ATM card, everybody knows about his bank details and he loses money. He's not totally wrong. There are mishaps, right? But you can't sit at home in the fear that if you go out on the road, there will be an accident. There will be an accident regardless. But yeah, with due respect, he's my father, so he must be right. But I know he's not 100% right. Right? Then you need to take chances. But he has lived his life. He's happy. But today, can you imagine your banking solutions without mobile app? How many of you have a mobile banking app on your phone? Some of you might have. Credit cards and debit cards are a thing of the past. Most banks are coming out with digital cards. You don't need your physical card. I'm so happy digital card is coming. It's already there. Right, here I am carrying my wallet. In Australia, I don't carry my wallet. I carry my phone. My phone is enough for my car, for my bank, for my grocery, for my entire life. It's my second wife. My phone is my second wife. Literally. I can't imagine my life. Everything is in my phone. I lose money, I don't care. But if I lose my phone, I'm half dead. Probably full dead. Right? Finally, and it's the same for SOP, Suits of Prey. There is a risk. And the returns are, what is the return? The return is a perfect pair of shoe that's made for you, for me. Yeah? When I wear the best pair of shoe, you have to see the glow on my face. The day I bought this shoe, I was so happy because it feels so good. It's got a technology called Comfort Tech. I don't know what it is. But the moment it says Comfort Tech, I know it's going to be comfortable. Right? That's the tagline of the product, right? It's Comfort Tech. And finally, transparency. Now, most banks, most companies in the past, when technology was not as prevalent as it is today, they will not give out information. They were not transparent. But today, you cannot sell an insurance policy. You cannot market an insurance policy without giving a PDS document. PDS means product disclosure statement. Each and every point needs to be listed about the benefits and what could be the wrong and this and that. You need to be 100% transparent about your offerings. Like when you buy a, what is this? How many of you drink packaged juice? Packaged juice. When you buy, how do you buy packaged juice? You just go, pick up your brand, open it, right? How many of you read what does the bottle contain? Do you read it? No? No. You will read it after a couple of years. When you are conscious about your figure, your weight, how you look, you will. I can see the change in my daughter. Now she's going to be 16 in August. She's conscious about her skin, her body shape, her hair, everything she's conscious. So she reads the label now. How much sugar is there in that? I say 6 grams, too much sugar. Right? So, right? And you have to disclose this information mandatorily by the government. That what is inside that bottle of juice, what are the contents. Likewise, that's a product. In the service house, be it insurance, be it banks, be it credit cards, be it hospitals, be it hotels, everywhere you need to be transparent 100% to the customer, right? Because if you are not transparent, for example, let's take our La Cruz. I like the name of La Cruz. I don't know the meaning. But the full name of the hotel is the La Cruz Boutique Hotel. I don't like La Cruz. I don't understand the meaning. I know hotel, okay. But what I liked was boutique. Right? Boutique is a different model of hotels. Right? So what I did was, you can always say, I'm boutique. But when you rock up to the hotel and say, hey, it's not a boutique hotel. It's some hotel, right? That's not transparency. Very easy to find out information. All I have to do is go to tripadvisor.com, type the name of the hotel, or go to booking.com, or go to hotels.com. They have companies kacha ticha, and you get all the details, right? So you can't hide. So this is your key lesson again to take home along with whatever you learned today. If you want to use co-creation as a business model to create value, you need 4 building blocks. The acronym is DART. D-A-R-T. D for dialogue, A for access, R for risk and return, T for transparency. Without this, it is very hard to survive in the digital world. We are all living, breathing, operating in the digital world. When I say we, I mean customers as well as companies. Neither companies live without digitalization, nor companies live without digitalization. When digitalization is the name of the game, let's follow these principles. And why SOP was so successful in a short period of time? Because SOP was following these 4 fundamental building blocks of co-creation. Does it make sense? This is the key takeaway from the case study. So we have 5-7 more minutes. Any questions from anyone? You, say it again. Not banned. It's closed down. It's not banned. Why it's closed? Yeah, that's a good question, and that was one of the questions we thought. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll close. So when you co-creation, by now we know the benefit, right? So I'm not going to spend much time on the benefits. So these are the benefits. All of this, quality of service, brand loyalty, brand awareness, some of you said personalization, all of that fits for the firms, right? There are benefits to the customers also. For the customer side, somebody said customer satisfaction, it raises customer expectation and all of that, customer enjoyment and cheaper. But what are the challenges? And this is where SOP actually faced some of the challenges. One of the key challenge for SOP, which you might have gathered from the case study, is what? Anyone? Did you pick up from the case? There was one key problem with SOP. Get again, say it again. Huh? Transportation. Yes, it was. It was coming from China somewhere. It was one of the issues. But there was one major issue with shoes of freight, which some of you might have figured out. Pricing. Pricing. If you look at that, almost 10 years ago, the starting price was 130 US dollars, which is almost 180 Australian dollars. So close to $200 was the starting price of a shoe. And trust me, even in Australia, it's an expensive shoe. Right? Even by Australian standards, it's an expensive shoe. So even though the philosophy was beautiful, it got them into the business. They broke even you understand the break even, right? So they broke even very early. but they could not sustain. What happened is they were purely online. Then they thought, okay, to get more customers, let me go to the stores. So they started going to the stores on Oxford Street. You know Oxford Street? Where did it? In London. It's the street where all the designer stores are there. So they started housing their products and this did not go to the customers. So it was in the designer stores, you do not have the capacity to customize. You already have made a shoe. Original business idea, customization. You are now moving away from your core business philosophy, customization. So now you are unique selling proposition. And are you still a co-creating value, or you are like other shoe creators? You that price where I can buy for that price. Does it make sense? One of the main reason, along with pricing, that they went for that did not go very well with the. So there are some challenges of co-creation. Co-creation needs to be culturally embedded in the, and that is very hard. And you need, many of you here, let me ask this question, willing to go on website, and we are almost out of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, slowly 7.5, almost 50 people, 7, 9, right? So very less percentage of are still willing to go and spend in co-creating a shoe, right? And why others don't want to do this? They have time. Given an opportunity, I will do this. But why others don't want to do it? One last response. Why others don't want to do this? Trust me, these guys are intrinsically motivated. Intrinsic means which comes from within. जो अंदर से आता है. The motivation that comes from within is called intrinsic motivation. I am willing to spend time on my shoes. For me, that's an investment. For you, it's a cost. You would rather plant that time in some other activity of your life. So for you, buying a shoe is extrinsic. I need a shoe, I go to a shop, I buy the best possible that my money can buy. I buy the shoe, extrinsic. For me, for you, the shoe has to be the shoe. Right? So it's the dilemma between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation, and not many would like to go the co-creation route. And in this business of shoes, you need numbers. Like 7 out of 50 customers, if start buying shoes, then Shoes of Prey has to wind up. Right? So on that note, we will close. I hope you have learned something today. And go back. Don't take too much pressure. Take it easy. Right? And try to reflect on what we have done in the class, the stories that we have shared. And every story had a lesson. It's not that I was sharing my life story, no. Because every